RC meeting once my 2 items are done under unfinished business,
Okay.
unless you would move them to the front.
This is not going to be a long meeting, as it is.
That's my hope.
Okay, and with that in mind, I will call the meeting to order.
Sounds like you're making some progress, Tony.
So I will call the meeting to order, and I will take a motion to approve the minutes from November 16th meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Great. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Appointments, recognitions, and resignations. Consider appointment of John March to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Move approval?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, unanimous. Acknowledgement for Lisa Young, who has completed her Associates of Accounting degree from Husson University. Awesome. Nice job.
Congratulations, Lisa. That's a lot of work, and to keep it going with the job and learning everything, we're grateful for you.
Yep. Okay, I'll take a motion to acknowledge.
Move it.
So moved.
Second,
Great, all in favor?
aye.
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 Great job. Okay, consent agenda, proposed limited purpose aquaculture license for renewal by the Department of Marine Resources, accepting written comments until December 18, 2020. And thank you letters from hospice volunteers of Hancock County, and a letter to clerks from the Honorable Janet T. Mills, Governor of Maine.
I would move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second that.
Great, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh. Okay. Any selectmen's reports?
I just have a question as to if we're going to keep, and I think we've talked about this, if we're going to keep our meeting time at 4, or if it might be possible to move it. Apparently, there's some members of the community that can't make it to the meetings due to their work schedules. And so I just said I would mention it.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and Derlin had said that no one had objected, but it sounds like it's starting to be a problem for some people.
Yeah, you see this?
Yeah.
I think really too, as we start to think about budgets and meeting, you know, with having warrant committee members and stuff present, that a couple of the people, the 2 people that have spoken to me are warrant committee members that work until, you know, 4 or after. So I just said I would bring it up.
It's just interesting it's gone this long now, this many months with no complaints.
Yeah,
I think when we have any sort of joint like budget presentations or anything, I do think it's important. I know there are, I wish honestly there needs to be more involvement from the warrant committee. As we know, there's only a handful that are involved throughout the process. So I'd like to make sure, at least with those people, that we pick a time that does work, because I do know they like attending those things. But thus far, I think our standard sort of run-of-the-mill meetings, I don't know that the 4 o'clock problem, 4 o'clock has been an issue. And selfishly, I'll tell you, I actually appreciate 4 o'clock because we're done a little earlier.
Maybe we should consider, Wendy, do you think it would help these people to move it to 5, or does it need to be later than that?
I can ask them. I think 5 is a
It's good, Tom.
compromise. But
Next meeting, you will be looking at the first round of budgets too. So if you're going to want to move it, that next meeting to 5, you should do it so that we can advertise it as that, so everyone knows.
So Phil Lichtenstein, I see you're here. I wonder if you might be willing to reach out to your current warrant committee members, and particularly them, and see what their thoughts are.
Yes, thank you. I was contacted by, one member that was concerned about the time and did ask me to bring it up to you all. I'm planning to start the warrant committee in 1 month, so that'll be the first week of the year. seeing we're a democracy in the warrant committee, I'm gonna make everyone, put their opinions out. We're gonna start with our first meeting at 6, the way we've always met. For that reason, because of people's work schedules, I do have a banker on the committee, and I want to be polite to everyone, but I will go with a consensus. If people want to meet earlier, I'm willing to listen to that.
Okay,
Thank you.
now Derlin, should we make a motion or should we wait?
So does Kyle have his hand up?
John, Katrina Carter had a message that she wanted to comment.
So this is me. Hello, folks. I think that all the other committees in the town seem to be meeting at their regularly scheduled time. The planning board is meeting when they've normally been meeting. We're going to start meeting at 6 o'clock. You may not have heard from people that they're not able to come to the selectmen's meeting, but I think the lack of participation from the community is a very glaring example of the fact that people are not participating. And I think much of it is because a 4 o'clock meeting is still in the workday for people. So I'm hoping that the selectmen will go back to their regular 6 p.m. meeting, and we won't jump around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Go back to 6, be what you were, and let's get more people involved, because I think we're going to be Zooming for a period of time, and we just need to know that. But I think 6 o'clock is key in getting participation from the community.
Well, I just look at it like, again, I know I'm being selfish here, but I don't remember having to do head counts at our normal meetings back when we met at 6 or 6:30, whatever it was. There was no participation then, if we're being honest. I mean, that's a sad truth. So, I mean, I understand completely what you're saying, Katrina, but I would be shocked if we saw one additional member of the public on these meetings if we were having them on Zoom at 6 p.m.
Yeah. John?
Tony, go ahead.
I agree with Matt. I tend to take note, and at the top of my agendas, I usually take an unofficial attendance, and I agree with Matt.
Could I make a motion just to get it on the floor? I move that we resume meeting with our next meeting at 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Do I have a
Thanks.
second for that? Anyone want to second that?
I will second it just so we can have a vote on it.
Okay. Good. Seconded by Matt. Any further discussion? Okay. I have no problem going back to 6. It really.
I mean, if I could weigh in, this is Jeff.
Yeah.
Again, I understand that the workday issue, but I mean, if we're going to continue in a remote situation, then so are a lot of people that are working. I personally would prefer the 4 o'clock remain. And if we were going to change it to move to 5, but that's just my personal preference. I don't see it. I mean, again, we haven't had, according to Derlin, he hasn't, we haven't had a lot of people reaching out and saying they're upset because of the time. And now we're hearing some, but I mean, is that, I don't know what the participation was before. From what I understand, it wasn't much. And I just, I don't really want to change it, but I will, obviously.
I feel like too, if people see the agenda, which I think the people that care do see the agenda, and that if there's something on the agenda they're concerned about, they would probably try to make it. 4 is sometimes hard because I theoretically work till 4. I have rearranged my schedule on Mondays so I can be here by 4. But I too would do whatever is in the best interest of the town and the community. I like 5 a little better. 6 is, to me, my day starts early and I'm getting tired at 6, but especially through the winter months, but I'll do whatever everybody thinks is right.
Well, as somebody who gets up at between 4 and 5, say I like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's not up to us to do what we like. It's up to us to do what's best for the community. And as a retired person, it doesn't matter that much to me, but I think it matters to a lot of people. And I would hate to have anyone feel excluded because we meet too early. 5 o'clock, some people are probably still working. Whether they're working remotely or not, they're working. It's their work day. And I just think it would be the right thing for us to move to a time that's easier for the community.
All for a vote?
Can I just say one more thing, please? I'm just concerned that as we go into the warrant part of the year, January, February, as we're trying to prepare the warrant and get information shared back and forth smoothly and easily, so many of the warrant committee won't be able to be at a 4 o'clock meeting because people are working remotely, but they still need to be accountable to their work. So 4 o'clock is still part of that accountability time frame. And I just would like to think that maybe we can't go back to 6, but gosh, can we push it a little bit further so that if the warrant committee is supposed to be actively participating, they've got to be able to be there.
But wasn't our originally meeting time at 6:30?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, go ahead.
Didn't Phil say he was going to poll his members?
I don't think we should limit it to the warrant committee. I mean, anybody should be able to come. That's my.
Yeah, and I think that, given that our meeting has been at 6:30 since as long as I can remember, and it's eventually going to probably go back to 6:30 anyway.
6 o'clock feels early.
Yeah, 6 o'clock is fine. I just as soon do that for the sake of inclusion.
If we're going to move it eventually back to 6:30, then why don't we move it to 6:30 now? I guess I don't want it to move, but if it's going to move, let's not move it again.
I guess maybe I'm just not as
Gonna be months.
optimistic as everyone else. But again, I don't know, in 6 years of serving on this board, I can think of about 2 meetings where we've had, 2 regular meetings where we've had a crowd. And I also think you can make the argument that having the meetings online and on Zoom, actually makes it easier for people to participate if they choose to do so. You can just dial in by your phone and listen on your drive home if you felt like it. But even now we see people aren't participating that way. So who are we? I just, again, I'm all for working with the warrant committee. I think it's important to have them able to attend. And it sounds like Phil's going to poll them to see sort of what time works, early or later. Whatever. But to me, that's a special circumstance. The 4 o'clock meetings seem to have been working throughout this sort of unique time that we found ourselves in. So that's just my 2 cents.
And I'll put one more comment in. If we're going to have it, if it sounds that there's a motion on the floor to move it to 6 and it's been seconded. My preference again would be to pick either afternoon or evening, but not be both. So if we're going to move it away from the 4 o'clock, I would push it to 6:30 or past. I don't, one or the other, not in the middle of the dinner hour.
Yeah, Phil?
I just want to be clear that the warrant committee is planning on meeting at 6. And if I do poll my members, it'd be about changing our committee meeting time to a different time, but we'll stay with 6. What all you do as a board is, your choice, and I don't want to influence the decision of the group that you're in. I do want the community to be heard, but I have no concern as far as what time you all pick. I want that to be from your committee. I want to be clear about that. When I poll mine, it's going to be about when my meeting meets, not can they make the Board of Selectmen meeting or not. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. My personal feeling is that we might as well just go back to 6:30.
There's a motion on the floor for 6.
Yeah.
Can we vote?
Sure. Sure. All in favor for 6?
Aye.
Okay. All against?
Nay.
Nay.
Yay. All right, I don't want to kick this down the road, so we should either go for 6:30 or.
So I move we move our meeting back to the original time that we were originally, and that is like 6:30.
All right.
Second.
Good. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
Nay.
All right. Any more selectmen's reports? Okay, unfinished business. Northeast Harbor Main Street construction update. Tony.
I just put together this brief to the point summary of changes. Nothing really drastic, particularly for a project this size. I could have gotten down into that we've changed the elevation of a manhole by 1 inch or 1/10 of a foot, but I didn't think that was necessary. Just wondering if there's any questions.
I was disappointed in the landscaping around the museum, since one of the prime aims for people was to have more trees and shrubs and greenery downtown. I was sorry that those had been eliminated, but it sounds like there was a lot of thought that went into it. It was a very good report, Tony.
Yeah, thank you. The fellow representing the museum was very good. Good to work with.
Good.
I also, I know that we've heard several times about people concerned about drainage, and it looks as though a lot of careful attention has been paid to that. And so
Yeah.
I hope it all works. You know, we never, but it sounds as though all efforts have been made to try to mitigate drainage issues.
Interestingly, one of those issues came about after a heavy rain. And just so people won't call tomorrow, there traditionally has been a big puddle in front of the post office. The only reason that area has not been addressed is they haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
Tony, does the same go? I have a couple comments. First, and I mentioned this last meeting, I heard comments from a resident about the landscaping, and they were very positive about it. I think there's a chance that it's going to look, those aspects of the project are going to look really nice. And so I'm sort of with Martha. I hate to see some of the other shrubs and trees and things get cut out. And it also reminds me, and this wasn't on the report because it was sort of cut out before the construction actually started. But down here by the neighborhood house, that what was supposed to become a peninsula, which would have had similar landscaping, and I think really tied the project together. I think people, when they see the completed project, they're going to say, "Oh, I wish we had done more of that." I honestly do.
Yeah.
And then, we'll get complaints about why we didn't do more, obviously. But just the other quick comment about drainage, and it sounds like they haven't gotten to this yet, but I'm assuming they're aware. I noticed the other day after the rain in front of what's going to be Main Street Mercantile, Erica Mitchell's building, there's quite a sizable puddle there.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that a couple times.
Yeah, there'll be some minimal elevation changes to the center line of the road and the slope. And yes, they just haven't gotten that far. You're correct, Matt. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
Okay, item B, consideration of Public Works Director Tony Smith's recommendations made in his 12/3/2020 memo to Derlin Lunt Jr., Town Manager, of retaining the services of RF Jordan and Sons, Inc. at a cost of $116,012.50 and GF Johnston and Associates at a cost of $25,540 to provide construction and engineering services respectively, and to approve project contingency funding of $21,230 for a total of $162,782.50 to be drawn from account 3000054, all related to the completion of the reconstruction of a section of Route 198 postponed from last year to this year.
Thank you, John. Those costs represent 50% of the total cost. That's our 50% cost share through the Municipal Partnership Initiative Program with the DOT. They're very good prices. I was very surprised.
It's nice to come in way under budget on something. That's very
It's off the bleeding for a while. I agree.
Am I correct also, just in the reading of that there's, I don't even know how to describe it, but by bringing it into connecting it to last year's project, we don't have to worry about going back out to a big process of bidding. We can just continue on as though it was one large project.
Yes. This portion of the project was change ordered out of the original. And if it had come in higher, we might have been having a different discussion, but
No, that's, yeah.
considerably lower. It was unit prices from last year. I was very pleased. You're
Seems
correct,
like
Jeff.
seems like a no-brainer. Good work.
Thank you.
Okay. With that in mind,
I would move approval to have Tony authorize and execute all documents on behalf of the town with those funds as
Presented.
stated.
Seconded.
great. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay,
Mr.
unanimous.
Chairman,
Yes.
I need to bow out.
Okay, thank you, Tony.
I request permission to
Tony.
be excused. Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank
Okay, new business. A request from Suzanne Lawrence for rural wastewater grant.
Suzanne Lawrence, I believe, is on the telephone. I see her
She
name
is.
there. And
Can't hear
Kim is
you.
also here to speak to that. So those will be the two speakers on that.
Okay,
Yes, this is Suzanne Lawrence. I'm present.
all right. Who wants to start? Okay. Kim, you want to give us a little overview of that?
Sure. You guys got my memo.
Yep.
And, excuse me, Ms. Lawrence had called me on the 20th to inquire about the rural wastewater rebate program as far as the reimbursement. And I informed her that she would not qualify this year, excuse me, as because she did not have her tank pumped, or she said she had it pumped, but she did not call me to conduct the inspection that's required to look at the inlet and the outlet baffles in the septic tank, which is a requirement under the rural wastewater rebate program. I did send 2 letters, one in May and another one in October. Ms. Lawrence had informed me she did not receive either of the letters at first, but then she informed me the next day that she did find one of my letters, and then she can explain the activity that occurred in her life, which caused her to overlook the program, I guess, or the inspection requirement. But that essentially is the reasoning why I informed her that she would not qualify for this year.
Okay, this is Suzanne. Hi, everybody. That's exactly what happened, what Kim said. I actually had forgotten somehow. We had a lot of stress in our family, a lot of people, a lot of problems in my hometown in Florida. And there was just a lot going on, and I was in the process of moving from camp to a friend's home. The letter, the original letter was, I didn't find it, but I did have it done early this year, I believe in August, by Haslam Septic people, thinking that I would have all compliances done, like the monthly payments for my taxes and whatever else I had to do. So I was trying to be conscientious about it. But so much was going on that I guess I just misplaced the mail. We had several deaths in our family all at one time. Young man, my son's age, nephew, first his father, then him, then his son's wife, just a series. I've never experienced anything like it. In fact, when we landed at the airport in Jacksonville, the phone rang again, and one of the, my nephew was on his way to a pallbearer of his cousin, and his son had been killed. So we never experienced it. I've never experienced anything like that. And so, you know, in an upset state of mind, I just had totally forgotten. I was supposed to inform Kim to come and see about the septic. However, I did have it pumped in August, thinking if I got it early, compliance would be good by the Haslam Septic people. And I don't know of any problems that were there. And then I did find a second final notice that I'd waited too long. Kim sent me their letter of that effect because of the way it is right now in terms of taking care of expenses. This income was important to me for taxes and so forth. So Kim suggested that I write a note to Mr. Lunt explaining what happened. It was a matter of too much stress, too much happening, and just forgetting about the examination or overlooking it somehow at a time when it was like a couple of days too late. So I did write the letter explaining the conditions. That's exactly what happened. And just to see what can be done about it. It's really up to the committee, I guess, as to how the rules work or how, what you would like to do. Whether I would be further entitled to the grant money that I usually get every year for the upkeep of the septic, or whether you choose to do something different. You know, it's up to you. Thank you very much for hearing what happened.
Thank you, Suzanne, and I'm sorry for all of that. That's a lot to bear, I imagine.
Can I just make a motion?
Yes.
That the funding from this program be granted to Mrs. Lawrence.
Second.
Great. Any further discussion?
I would just like to agree, but is that okay, Darlene? I mean, we have the authority to do that, and are there grant?
Yes, you've done that several times.
That's what I thought. Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure the grant funds are available for that.
Yes, they would be available.
Also, just like to add thanks to Kim for working through this situation. Fortunately, it doesn't sound like this is overly common, I guess. It's just one of those things.
Once in a while you do a grant check.
Well,
very, very few, but once in a while you do.
And I mean, just to clarify, I'm just trying to, I agree 100% that it sounds like there's two things. One was a deadline that was missed, but the other was that when the septic tank was serviced, it should have been inspected by Kim and her committee and her group. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. Yeah.
And so provided that Haslam, actually did do this, and we are comfortable that they know what they're looking at, then is Kim okay with this?
I mean, I don't know if Haslam's actually looked at her baffles in her tank. I mean, they just go and
All right.
put a hose in and pump the waste, typically.
Okay.
They did say the baffles were there, I believe is what they said.
Okay.
We did see them, and I did pay them.
Good.
When I received the mail.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Good. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to say, Suzanne, it sounds like it's been a tough year, and I hope next year's better.
Look, guys, I really appreciate all you listening. I've never seen such tragedy in my family. I didn't think that was possible, but I really appreciate you hearing my story. It's exactly what happened, and I'm grateful to all of you for caring about the situation. And thanks, everybody.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it once again very much.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, item B, approval for corporate resolution to move funds at First National Bank.
I think there was something on this document listing me as secretary of the board, which I think needs to be amended.
I think that was when the fund was first created, possibly.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what
why.
it was.
Yeah, I wondered about. I looked at those things too, and I was like, "Whoa, well, hold on."
I didn't want to steal Wendy's job.
All right. So, do I have a motion?
I'll move approval of this corporate resolution as presented.
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
I'm
opposed?
abstaining.
Okay, and one abstention.
I do have to mention that you need to come in person and sign those papers tomorrow, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, that's going to be difficult, but I'll see what I got to figure something out. Okay.
Do we need all of us, or can we do it just with a quorum?
We can do a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah, I can do it.
so we got you,
Okay.
Jeff.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Item C, authorize small animal clinic contract for 2021.
Move authorization.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any other business? Nope. Treasurer's warrants. Here we go. Okay, warrants to be approved and signed. Town invoice AP 2131 in the amount of $437,070.47.
Move approval and signature.
Second.
Oh, Martha Dudman approves of.
And Wendy Littlefield seconds.
Okay, Martha, how do you vote?
Martha Dudman votes aye.
Wendy, how do you vote?
Wendy Littlefield votes aye.
Matt, how do you vote?
Matt Hart votes aye.
Jeff, how do you vote?
Jeff Wood votes aye.
And John McCauley votes aye. Thank you. Authorized warrants to be signed. Town state fees and payroll benefits. AP 2128 in the amount of $5,186.71. AP 2129 in the amount of $3,986.19. AP 2130 in the amount of $68,066.55. Town payroll PR 2112 in the amount of $102,476.92.
I'll move approval. Matt
Second.
Hart will move approval.
Martha
Jeff Wood.
Dudman seconds.
Okay, Martha, how do you vote?
Martha Dudman votes aye.
Matt, how do you vote?
Matt Hart votes aye.
Wendy, how do you vote?
Wendy Littlefield abstains.
Jeff, how do you vote?
Jeff Wood votes aye.
And John McCauley votes aye. Thank you, guys. Warrants to be acknowledged. School invoice 6 in the amount of $109,320.06. School payroll 11 in the amount of $186,539.26. School payroll number 12 in the amount of $85,406.38.
Jeff Wood move acknowledgement.
Matt
Martha
Hart
Dudman.
seconds that.
Okay, Jeff, how do you vote?
Jeff Wood votes aye.
Matt, how do you vote?
Matt Hart votes aye.
Martha, how do you vote?
Martha Dudman votes aye.
Wendy, how do you vote?
Wendy Littlefield's going to abstain.
Okay, and John McCauley votes aye. Great, that's it, guys. Thank you very much. I'll take a motion for an adjournment.
This is Wendy, so moved.
Seconded.
Awesome. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So our next meeting will be 6:30. Is that what we
Yep,
concluded?
6:30 on the,
I'll be there with bells on.
Okay.
On the 21st.
I'll be there with a nightgown on.
We've gotten spoiled. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody.